Hey guys, welcome to math class. We're lasting from 11:30 to 12 p.m. So 11:30 a.m. through 12 p.m. So what we'll be learning today is multiplying exponents. So exponents are multiplying a certain number by what the superscript says. The superscript is a small number up in the corner. So like say, all right, x squared, like this. This is the superscript, the tiny little 2. It's going to be x times x. So that this is equal to x times x. So, let's say we want to multiply x squared and y squared. Y squared is another way to say to the second power. Well, this is going to be x times y times y. Well, let's say that x equals 4. Well, then it will be 4 times y times y. And what is 4 times 4? 16. So then we'll have 16 times y times y. We're breaking it down very, very slowly. Let's say y equals 2. Well, what is 2 times 2, since we have y times y and y equals 2? 4. So then we'll have 16 times 4. We're breaking it down. And then we'll have 64. Easy. Now let's get on to the next one. Let's say we want to multiply 5 to the third and 4 to the second. Well, this is going to be 5 times 5 times 5 times, or maybe I should write an X instead of the dot so it would make more sense. Well, this is what it's going to be. 3 5s, right? And 2 4s. So 5 times 5 is 25. Times 5, well, 25 times 4 is 100. You should know this, because 25 cents is a quarter, which is a fourth. And then you add another 25, you get 125. So then we'll have 125 times 4 times 4. What is 4 times 4? 16. So then we're left with 125 times 16. So 125 times 16, well, this is how I do it. I break it down into 125 times 10, which is 1,250, and then I think of 6 125s. Well, 125 times 2 is 250. Add another 125, you get 375. Multiply that by 2 to get 6 more 125s, and you get 750. 1,250 plus 750. You add that, and it adds up to 2,000. So then you'll have 2,000 is your answer to this. And if I can go get my Siri bot to confirm this, that way I make sure I'm not teaching you false info, but I think I got it right. Times 16. Yes, it is 2,000. So, there we go. That means we have 2,000 as our answer. This is our work. Wow. Didn't mean to drop it. Okay. Now let's say we're going to add 3 to the third, or multiply 3 to the third, and 2 to the second, or 2 squared. Well, I didn't mean to do that, guys. I didn't mean to do that. Okay, we have this now. So 3 to the third is 3 times 3 times 3. Well, you know 3 times 3 is 9. Times 3, what is 9 times 3? 27. So then you have 27 times, what is 2 times 2? 4. Then you have this. Now think of 27 times 2, and you get 54. Multiply that by 2 again to get 27 times 4, and your result is 108. So, I mean, it looks like a fraction, sorry, but it's 108. So that means 3 to the third and 2 to the second, or 2 squared, is equal to 108. This needs to stop, like, flinging out my hands. I don't know what I'm doing. Alright. So, let's say we want to... Okay, we want to do this. Well, let's say we want to solve for this x. Well, if you already known from the last 2 questions I taught you, or the previous 3 actually, we know how exponents work, or we should. So then, we have 2 to x times 3 to the x equals 36. So then, I'm going to try my best to explain it. Well, think of it as 9 times 4, or 4 times 9 equals 36. Can 2 be squared, or can 2, not squared, but can 2 be multiplied into 9 without decimals, or without decimal form? No. So that means our only option is that this 2x is 4, meaning x is 2. But we can't verify that it's 2 yet if we haven't looked at the other equation. What can 3 be multiplied to get 9, since we already know the other is 4? 3. So that means there's 2 3's, meaning x also equals 2, meaning the overall is that x equals 2. Great job. Let's see, how much longer do we have in class? We have about 20 minutes, so we have enough time for us to start doing some harder things. So say we want to do 2 to the 4th times 4 squared. Plus, we're going to add plus 5 squared. Or no, let's do some harder. 5 to the 3rd. Okay, I'm gonna do this big problem right here. Okay, I'm gonna do this big problem right here. Well, 2 to the 4th is 2 times 2 times 2 times 2. 2 times 2 is 4. So then we have 4 times 4, and we get 16. So then we have 16. Let me write that closer together. Then we have 16 times 4 squared plus 5 cubed, or 5 to the 3rd. Okay, let's go ahead and make sure we're on track still. Wow. I don't know what's up with how I'm acting today, but I'm acting weird today. Alright, so 4 times 4. 4 to the 2nd is 4 times 4. So what is 4 times 4? 16. So now we have 16 times 16 plus 5 to the 3rd. That looks like 53. 5 to the 3rd, or 5 cubed. So, dang! What is 5 times 5 times 5? From my previous questions, think of it as 25 times 5. Well, a quarter is a half of a dollar, which is 100 cents. Meaning, or a quarter is a quarter of a dollar, meaning it's a dollar is 100 cents. A quarter is 25 cents. Well, then we have 125. So we have 25 times 5 is 125. So then we have 16 times 16 plus 125. I broke my board. That's how much it was coming out of my hand. So now we have this. Okay. So what is 16 times 16? I'll give you time. I'll give you time to answer 16 times 16. Have you answered yet? You should have answered or been close to doing it. Sorry if I interrupted you. But if you answered 256, you are correct. So now we'll have 256 plus 125. You see how I've broken it down? Oh no! Okay, so anyways, we have 256 plus 125 now. So what? Whoa! I like to do this too. What is 250 plus 125? 250 plus 125. 375. Now add 6 to it. 375 plus 6. 381. So now we have 381 is our answer to this equation. Oh yeah! Plot twist. I'm going to do something a little bit harder on you guys. I'm just going to do something here. I'm evil for this. Find the square root. Find the square root of this. Find the square root of this, guys. Well, we know our answer is 381, so you can just break it down. into square root of, I don't mean to write 8. We can just break it down into the square root of 381, right? Now, I'm not exactly sure if 381 is a perfect square. That might be what you're thinking. Well, think of it as a number that you can multiply by itself to result in that. See, 15 times 15 is 225. 16 times 16 is 256. 17 times 17 is 289. 18 times 18 is 324. But 20 times 20 is 400. So we're left with 19 is the closest to the square root. So then we're left with this equals 19. Square root of 381 equals 19. So that means the square root of 2 to the 4th times 4 to the 2nd plus 5 to the 3rd is equal to 19. Or if we want to find the approximate, we can find the difference of the two square roots that are farther away from the other. I don't know. I'm trying to explain it, but well, 19 times 19, well, 18 times 19 is 342. And you add to that, you get 360. Okay, let's move on. Because really finding the approximate is not that important for this stuff, but we have this. So let's just keep moving on. Let's see, I'm gonna switch the color of the marker. I'm gonna write with red. So let's see. We want to find the square root of I'm gonna do a little bit of trickiness here. All right, here's our next one. Square root of 8 squared times 2 squared plus 7 squared. So then we can break this down. You should already know what 8 squared is. 8 times 8 is 64. Times 2 squared, which is 2 times 2, which is 4. Then we have 64 times 4. Plus 7 squared, which is 7 times 7, which is 49. We have all of this. Now we add 64 times 4 is 256. Because 64 times 2 is 128. Multiply that by 2 to get 64 times 4 is 256. So we have, you know what? 64 times 4 plus 49. Okay, well, let's do 256 plus 50 minus 1 is my trick. 256 plus 50 is 306. Take away 1, you get 305. So now we're left with finding the square root of 305. Since this is not a perfect square, we're going to have to find out. And I will use the approximate on this one. I guess I'll be able to use the approximate. So, since 305 is not a perfect square, what is the number that goes above 305? 324? Okay, square root of 324 is 18. So we know this is not 18. What about 17? 17 squared is 289. But it doesn't go above the total of this. So this, our closest answer to this is 17. Alright. Well, we want to find the approximate total. Well, then we'll have square root of 289. And then we'll have square root of 305. Well, we already know our answer is 17. So just going to write 17. Alright, we have this. We got 10 minutes left in class, guys, and then we're dismissed. Unless you want to leave. This ain't required, it's just for fun. So then we have 17. What's the difference between 289 and 305? Subtract 305 and 289. Or we can do 305 minus 290 minus 1. Or 305 minus 290 minus 1. 305 minus 290. 290 plus 15 equals 305. So the difference is 15. And then we take away 1. And we get 16 difference. So then we have 16. So we'll write 16 over 17 twice. Multiply this twice. This number twice, you multiply it twice. So you'll have 34. So then your closest answer you're going to get for this is going to be either 17 and 16/34 or 17, just regular 17. So that's our closest answer here, guys. This is our last math problem we're going to do before we get out of here. I'm just going to do one more. So this, let's say this hold on. Let's say, so I'll make it a power flash. Let's say this equals 382. I don't know. What should we do as a math problem, guys? X squared plus... Oh, we already learned pretty much square roots and stuff. We've learned a lot of stuff. Let's just do one more question. Let's see. 2 to the 4th plus... Or 2 to the 4th. Times 5 to the 2nd. Let's do 5 to the 2nd times 2 to the 4th. Or hold on. Let's do 2 to the 4th times 5 to the 2nd. Or now let's do 2 to the 4th times 4 to the 2nd. Divide by 2 plus 6 squared minus 8 squared. Or no. 3 squared. We have this big old problem right here. Alright, let's split it up. 2 to the 4th, 16, we already learned. And 4 to the 2nd is 16, we already learned. So let's just break this down. Divided by 2 squared, divided by 4. You get 64. Plus 6 squared. minus 9, because we have 2 to the 4th times 4 to the 2nd divided by 2 squared plus 6 squared minus 3 squared. That's a big old problem right here. Alright. So 256. Okay, so we have 64 plus 36 minus 4. So 64 plus 36. Let's do our math, and we get 100 minus 4. We get 96. So our answer here is 96. But hold up. Wait a minute. We got 5 minutes or 4 minutes left in class. Let's do just an extra touch up to this. Extra touch up. Okay, find the square root. Find the square root. Well, we already know. Answer is 96. If you should have remembered. So let's just break it down again. We have 16 times 16 divided by 4 plus 36 minus 9. Oh, and I think I said on one of the answers that the answer was 96. I think I looked at one of the numbers wrong, because 100 minus 9 is 91. So our answer is 91 for this equation. We already know that. But let's just pretend we don't, because this is a bonus question. And then we have 256 divided by 4 plus 36 minus 9. And then we have 256 divided by 4 first, because we're using PEMDAS. We get 64 plus 36 minus 9. And then we get 100 minus 9. And then we get 91. So then we find the answer of the square root of 91, or the closest answer. And the square root of 100 goes over this value, because 100 goes over this value, and 100 is 10. So this is not 10. What about square root of 81? Equals 9? Yeah, well, that doesn't go above our value. So then that means this answer would be, let's just erase that. This answer would be 9. All right, let's get up, let's stretch, because it's been a long while in class. You know, I'm going to put this math problem up on the board, just so if you're bored, haha. I'm going to put this math problem up on the board, just if you're bored, you can look at the math, and then you're like, yay. Okay. Let's stretch, because we're about to get out of class. You know, I'm personally about to turn off these lights already, because I'm done with my math classes for the day. So yeah, I'm just going to give you one bonus question. If you want to answer it before you get to leave the video, since you stayed to the end, or you can just leave. It's not like I care. The bonus question is the square root of 3 cubed times 4 to the 4th. But yeah, I'll see you guys tomorrow, Wednesday, Thursday, and Friday. Every day of the weekday for math class. Yeah!